Okay, that was not a great clap. That just felt very weak. No, that didn't do it either. Okay, so today is Thursday, November 21st, 2024. Let me just say, I love this spot. I am so glad I decided, like, instead of just doing these in my car, I'm going to go out to the lake. I'm just going to have a nice little backdrop. It's just so nice. I think it looks so pretty. Sorry, I woke up early. I am kind of a tired boy. But I just really like this. So this morning, as I was driving, I'm like, okay, there's two ways I could go to the lake. There's the front way, and if I go the front way, it's a longer drive, but it means I get to drive around the lake, which I really enjoy. If I go the back way, I can get to the spot faster. I can just get to the lake faster. As much as I love the fun way, let me go the fast way. But because it's early in the morning and it's like right by like the high school and the elementary school, or maybe it's the middle school, I'm not sure. But it was not really that fast because I just had to keep waiting for the school traffic. And at one point I'm like, all right, I just got to make this left turn. Boy, these cars ain't stopping. Boy, these cars ain't stopping. Hey, look, these cars stopped. And now everyone else is here. It was just kind of ass, but I thought it was pretty funny. Something else to bring up from this morning. So, it's not like we're out of soap, but the bar of soap that was in the shower is like basically gone. I'm like, oh, well, if I had known that, I would have gone ahead and like brought a new bar of soap in. So I had to borrow some body wash, and it was like pumpkin spice body wash. I was like, all right, let me try this. Oh, this smells kind of nice, and I smell kind of delicious. Which is a weird sentence. It's a very weird sentence. But I'm like, this is really nice. Like, there's this line in The Good Place. It's from the end of season 3. I won't go into the details because of how spoilery it is. But there is this line from Eleanor that lives in my head rent-free because how funny it is. And like, in context, it's actually really sad. But the line is, she's like, it's not a joke. I'm a legit snack. And it's like, that's how I smell right now. I don't know. I just think that's kind of fun and kind of funny. Let's get into the week. Let's get into my past 7 days and some change, I guess. So in terms of writing, Orichalcum is going really, 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 really well. So last week, I finished the climax chapter. I finished, I guess, like the last part of the climax. So I have 3 left, not including edits. Because I had Clay look at it, he's like, okay, I like it, but there's a lot of areas that do kind of need to be beefed up, which is fine. Like, that was the first draft of that chapter. I'm glad that I know it's like, all right, the skeleton is good, but it's a weird metaphor. But I guess not. It's like the skeleton is good, but I need to flesh it out. And it's like, put some more blood in there, and I know what I mean. Again, it sounds a little weird. I'm glad there's a good foundation. I just need to finish the building. There we go. So now I have 3 chapters left. So it's the denouement, which is like 2 chapters, and then an interlude. So that's going. I don't know when that'll be done. My hope was to finish it by end of November / first week of December. I would say theoretically that is still tenable. Again, just the drafting. When it comes to edits, I don't know when that's going to be done or how long that's going to take. But I just want to get these 3 chapters done, go back and finish that climax chapter, or again, like fleshing it out and whatnot, finishing the building. And then I kind of just need to go through it and like make my own edits. Like, all right, chapter 1. Is there anything I think I really need to change? Anything I really need to flesh out? Anything that's inconsistent? Anything that now with the stuff that's been added, I need to add here for more consistency's sake, for foreshadowing, etc., etc. So I would love to just say Orichalcum, this draft and all its edits is done by the end of the year, and then I can just start sending it out. As for Severance, I just haven't touched it. Like, I've just been focusing on Orichalcum, and I think that's all right. I did a lot of work on Severance this year, and our artist is taking an extended hiatus just because they've got a lot of stuff that they're working on. Totally fine. And to me, it works out. I'm like, hey, you're on, like, our artist is on a hiatus. Well, the writer is on a hiatus. So it kind of works. Because I feel like if I was just getting a lot of art, I'd be like, man, it's, on the one hand, it's kind of giving me that energy and that juice. Like, I want to get back into the story. And also that, like, man, we're getting a lot more stuff done. I need to step up my game and kind of keep pace. And now that that's not happening, I don't feel as bad for taking an extended break to work on something else. So, there's that. I watched the new arc of Monogatari. So that was Shinobu. I'm a little confused because there were points where I saw it as Shinobu Master or Mastered, and other times I saw it as Mustard. I think Master makes more sense, but it's also about food, so in a sense, so Mustard might have done it. I don't know. I don't plan on doing a video on it. I did the video on JJNW'S because I really loved that arc. Like, it kind of spoke to me personally. The other arcs in Off and Monster Season have been fantastic. It's been really, really good. But I don't know if I'm like, man, I really want to sit down and talk about it. It's just like, no, like, it was great. Go watch it. Like, if you like Monogatari, you will like this arc. If you don't like Monogatari, I don't know. You probably won't enjoy it. Let's see. In terms of music, so I finished listening to Matchbox 20. I had actually started them a couple weeks ago and then just completely forgot to bring it up. My bad. I haven't done Rob Thomas's solo work. There's part of me that's like, that's not technically Matchbox 20, so I don't have to. But I am kind of interested, and maybe I should, because I do really like Rob Thomas's voice. But I have moved on to Fuel. So, I'm gonna be honest, Fuel is genuinely, like, one of the reasons I wanted to do this project. Or, like, you know, to just say, I want to listen to an artist's full catalog. Because I only knew 2 songs by them. Shimmer, which I absolutely love, and Hemorrhage, and then in parentheses, In My Hands, which I also absolutely love. I'm like, as far as I'm aware, they're 2 for 2 with some great songs. I kind of want to see what else they've got. I want to listen to some of their other... I want to listen to their albums and be like, all right, this is the one with Shimmer, this is the one with Hemorrhage. How is the rest of the album? How are their future albums? Like, is this a band that just kind of had a couple hits and that was it? They just, I guess, had a Shimmer. Or is it like, no, this is a band that's been going strong for a long time. They actually have a really strong following, or are they just super underappreciated? So I did listen to the first 2 Fuel albums. So the one with Shimmer and the one with Hemorrhage, and I thought they were fine. They, unfortunately, really didn't do much for me. It was like, oh, here's the song I love, and yeah, I love it. Yeah, the rest is all right. Oh, here's the song I love. Yeah, I think the rest is kind of all right. I wish I had more to say about it, and I didn't really say much about actually listening to Matchbox 20. No, I do enjoy Matchbox 20, and like I said, I like Rob's voice a lot. There was this one song on Mad Season, I think it was the last song, like, You Won't Be Mine, and I remember going into it and thinking, okay, this is probably going to be like a very sad, I don't want to say whiny, because I'm not trying to say like their other songs feel very whiny or anything, but it's like, I'm expecting this very like sad, slow ballad about how it's like, you know, I love you, but you don't love me back kind of thing. That was not at all the vibe of the song that I got. You're like, it's this, like, the vibe I get when listening to the song is like, because it actually has like kind of a visual thing for me. Like, I talked about this, I think I actually talked about it, when I was listening to Radiohead and I was listening to Moon-Shaped Pool, and it's the final track in particular, but kind of the whole album gave me this vibe of, it's really cold, it's snowing, and I'm like in this cabin, and I'm sitting in the cabin, I'm like all huddled up, and I'm by the fire, but I still don't feel warm. And just listening to the album gave me this very strong image. Like, this is how it made me feel. And I find that really interesting. Because, like, yeah, like, you listen to music, I imagine stuff. I'm a writer. I'm like, okay, now I'm imagining the scene in my head with my characters. I was like, no, this wasn't even that. This just kind of, like, went beyond. I think Moonshaped Pool is fantastic. So this song felt very similar, where I'm just imagining like this old, dusty piano in like the middle of like a jazz club, and there's just like this blue spot. I don't know why it's blue. I think because like the cover of Mad Season is blue. Also, I really like the cover. It's like this, I don't know, it looks like a clown doll, just kind of like walking, holding his cane. Like, I think it looks dope as hell. I think it's really neat. But, you know, the old dusty piano in the middle of a jazz club, there's this blue spotlight, and a guy just like walking up to it and playing. And he's just venting his frustration about this failed relationship, but not in a way where it's like, you know, it's like I gave you everything and you still won't be mine, you still won't love me back. It's, you're such a piece of shit. And it's like, you're, like, I know that despite everything, all of the lies, all of the bullshit, you're going to be okay. You're gonna get through this. You're gonna be okay. And you're gonna find someone else. You're gonna find someone else who loves you, who puts up with everything. But you won't be mine. You won't be my problem. That's the vibe I got from it. And it was so genuinely, again, like from the title, I thought I was getting something completely different. It was super unexpected. It is like really visual. I loved it. It was definitely my favorite song from Mad Season. I don't know if I'd say it's my favorite Matchbox song, because what's the name of the next album? I think that's More Than You Think You Know. I really love that album, and also, like, I'm a very big fan of Push. I think Push is such an interesting song because it is a song about emotional abuse, but it's the woman abusing the man. And even though it's sung from like a male vocalist, you don't necessarily catch that, which is why I think its use in Barbie is so smart. And it's like so clever to me, because you would think like the Kens, this is their favorite song, you know, because as the guys who have been like pushed around, now they're the patriarchy and they're taking the power back. So their favorite song is Now I Want to Push You Around. Well, I will, because I can do it. And now I am doing it. But it is actually a song about a man being abused and singing about it. So that's why they're really connecting to it. And they're too dumb to actually realize it. It's like, it's so cool. Like, I fucking love that shit so much. Also, I've talked before about how I think Real World is a low-key really good opening for Worm. And I still haven't been going through my Worm videos to make my longer, like to refresh myself. I'm gonna be honest. I fucked up. I really, because I finished Worm the start of August. I should have taken like a week, maybe two, just say like, let me step away. Let me really sit on it. Now let me talk about it. Because I feel like I had the things I wanted to talk about, but I did kind of want to go back and see how some things like stacked up in my memory, and I feel like a lot of the things I really wanted to talk about are gone. So at this point, I really don't know if that video is going to happen. I do want to do the tier list, but even then I'm like, yeah, I should have done this in like mid-August, maybe early September. I'll take the L on that one. And I'm like, I'm not gonna go back to Horizons. I'm done with Worm. I'm like, I really want to get back to Horizons. I like talking about Blackjack. Don't always love reading about Blackjack, but I love talking about Blackjack. So I don't know when that's gonna happen. And then at some point I'm gonna have to read Ward. There's just a lot of shit I really wanted to do this year that I didn't get around to. But I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. You know, a good chunk of that was like, all right, now it's the bar. I got to focus on this. And it sucked, and I knew it was going to suck, but I got through it, and I achieved my goal. In like October, I did not do a whole lot of stuff. I was like, I want to watch all these spooky movies. I want to watch a lot of shows. Instead, I basically just wrote and hung out with my friends. And it was great. I really, really enjoyed doing that. So, yeah, like there's some, I don't know if I want to say missed opportunities, but there were some things I missed out on, but I gained a lot in the process, so I think it's all good. Other things I wanted to bring up. Oh yeah, the fucking death battle that came out this weekend. That was the Bowser Eggman. I'm like, I just have to talk about this and shout it out because it was really cool. Like, I just loved the way the fight looked. I liked that fucking chance time was weaponized. I liked seeing Kamek cook. Metal carried hard. The fucking I love it. It was beautiful. And I just keep seeing like a lot of memes and discussion after, and less of like the, man, this episode sucked, like it was so flawed, how could they do this? And just more people going, A, this was awesome, this is like the best episode they've ever done, this was so fun. And two, I just love seeing love for Bowser. Bowser is great. It's that, yeah, say what you will about it. I think I had said it to one person, I was like, look, he's a blustering fool, and that's why we love him. But he's always for the homies, and he's always for his son. The moment his son got hurt, it was over. And just those moments where he's like, yeah, like, it's one of the things I genuinely don't like about the Mario movie, is Bowser does treat his minions like shit. Like, when he's hanging out with Kamek, and he, like, slams the piano on Kamek's fingers, or, like, a Koopa says something, and then he turns him into a dry bones. Like, are those funny? Yes. But Bowser, like, he can be an ass to his minions, but he genuinely cares for the little guys. And you do see it. And, like, especially in the death battle, it's like, okay, like, the fucking Death Star is firing down on the planet, and Bowser immediately just, like, goes and tanks it. Not just, like, all right, you know, like, let me tank this because I'm badass. It's like, no, I'm gonna protect my army. And that's something they talk about. It's like, Bowser weaponized the power of friendship, because his army, they can compensate for each other's weaknesses, and they care about each other, and they genuinely love and respect Bowser. It was just great. I keep wanting to call her Penny, and I don't know why. I've never actually played Frontiers. I don't know why. She just looks like a penny to me. But, I keep seeing all these memes about Sage, like, now having to join Bowser's army. And me, like, you know, I want to just do this so I can overthrow you and kill, like, avenge my dad. But I don't know, this is almost kind of nice in its own way. It just, like, Bowser just accepting her. It's like, yeah, you're part of the army now, kiddo. Like, let's go play Mario Kart. I really like that. Let me talk about this real quick. So the Saints won another game. We are 4-0. We have 4 wins. We're 4-7. We beat the Browns. And I just loved seeing after the game, just all the, a lot of different players, all different members of the team staff, just going up to Jameis and just hugging him, dapping him up. It's like they loved this man. And I mean, a lot of the fans, I feel like most of the fan base absolutely loved him too, self included. I was very sad to see what happened to Jameis. Like we chose DA over Jameis. Oh, really? Look where that got us. 2-7. Anyways. So Rizzy Ball is real. We are 2-0 under him, and we were 2-0 under DA, so, you know, we'll see what happens. And I've said it for a few weeks. I'm like, yo, this season's done. It's toast. Let's just lose. Let's just tank. We can get a really good player. We can be trade down and stockpile picks to really build the roster and be competitive again. And the thing I really don't want to see is the team go on a run, miss the playoffs, and then not have a good pick to show for, like, the abysmal first chunk of the season. I'm gonna be honest, I feel like that's where we're headed. But feels really nice to win. And I like seeing my team win, and I like seeing how excited everyone gets after a win. I'm just like celebrating on the field and celebrating in the locker room, and I like Coach Rez. And I'm like, we're only like 3 games out of a playoff spot. I had said that Atlanta would have the tiebreaker over us because they will have a better division record. So 4-7, they're 6-5. 4. Yeah, because I don't... Have they had their bye week? I don't remember. They're either... I think they're 6 and 5, because I think, like the Saints, they haven't had a bye yet. So we would have to finish 1 better, so we're 3 games behind with 6 to go. That is doable. And for a wild card spot, I think the 7 seed right now is Green Bay, who's at 7. And we do play Green Bay later. So if we win that game, they basically go -1, we go +1. Now we're only 2 games behind. And on top of that, we would have the tiebreaker. Washington is maybe Washington's technically the 7 seed right now. I'm not sure. But like the 6 and 7 seed, whatever 7 wins. We also play Washington, so if we win that game, we're plus there, and then they're minus, and then we get the tiebreaker in our pocket. Like, it can happen! So now we have to have hope, and I hate hope. All of my homies hate hope. Like, oh man, it's just the last few seasons where there's a chance, and for a lot of games we just kind of blew that we should have won, like playing Carolina. But there is hope. And the end of Count 'em Monte Cristo, what is the line? It's something along the lines of like, all human wisdom throughout history is contained in these 2 words, wait and hope. And yes, technically that's 3 words, but wait, hope. So that's what I gotta do there. I gotta hope on the Saints. Wukong, I am at the end of the game. So I know there's like a lot of other bosses I could fight in Chapter 6, at least I think, but I'm not gonna do it because I don't like Chapter 6. I've talked before about how I think this game needs a map. I would love to have a map just to be able to kind of here is the area. Let me see if I can find like some of the little secret nooks and crannies, a lot of which I found by myself and a lot of which I've also had help via guides. But it would just be nice because I get lost very easily. And then Chapter 6 is like, okay, cool. So good news and bad news. Good news, here's the flying Nimbus. And I'm like, yeah, it's making me very happy. Bad news, it's basically open world and it's huge. And yeah, go find shit. If there's any part of a game, of this game that needed a map, it was this. And the fact that it doesn't just bothers me. But I got all the armor, I got like the super weapon. So I then go fight the final boss, but now I'm trying to go fight the super boss in like the frozen mountain. And he's been kicking my ass. I feel like I've made some progress, but I am getting my ass kicked. I really wanted to finish the game by the end of this week, but I've had something else that's been distracting me, and I will get to that in just a second. But I'm hoping either at the end of this weekend or next week I will be done with Wukong, and I think after that I'm probably going to move on to Metaphor. So the thing that has been distracting me is I have been doing that series of videos on my top 10 JRPG series, which I am having a lot of fun with. I'm not trying to be like, oh yeah, it's a distraction. Blah. Like, no, like it's just... Like, I haven't been playing as much Wukong in the morning. I haven't been, like, doing as much writing this week because I've been focusing on this. And the videos are long. Because, A, it's me. I talk a lot. I don't know how to shut the fuck up. And two, I almost didn't do that in the Kingdom Hearts video. That was a failure. But also, I'm talking about a lot of games, and I really like how I've been handling the videos. Like, I could not make a list of just my top 10 favorite JRPGs, because if I list it to one per series, it's not gonna feel right. Like, I can't have a list of my top 10 favorite JRPGs and not have both Persona 5 and Persona 4 on it. But also, it's basically gonna be like, here's Trails in the Sky, here's the Persona games, and then like a fuck ton of Pokemon. Oh, there's Kingdom Hearts and Symphonia. And then like more Pokemon. Like, there's a lot of games that mean a lot to me that just aren't gonna cut it. So, I'm just saying, like, here's my 10 favorite series of JRPGs, and then trying to talk about the individual games in that series that I have played. And I've done 10 through 2. So just going through that list real quick, and I've made sure to timestamp them and talk about the so like if you want to hear me talk about Xenoblade 1 and then like Xenoblade 3, but you don't give a shit about Xenoblade 2, you could do that, but Xenoblade 2 is the one I talked the most about. So number 10 was the Xeno series. It's specifically Xenoblade, and like I'm gonna sneak in Xenogears, or it was more I wanted to sneak in Xeno Saga, and like if I'm here I might as well talk about Gears. 9 is Final Fantasy, 8 is Lunar, 7 is Cold Steel, because I didn't do the Trail series in general, I split it up. 7 is Cold Steel, 6 is Fire Emblem, 5 is Tales of, 4 is Kingdom Hearts, 3 is Persona, 2 is Pokemon, and then 1 is going to be Trails in the Sky. I haven't done that video yet. Oh, excuse me, like I said, a bit of a tired boy. I don't think I'm going to be able to get to it today. There's a chance I might record it tomorrow afternoon or like in the evening. I'm off Saturday, so I'm expecting Saturday. I think what I really want to do Saturday is like, let me do the Trails in the Sky video. Let me play some Wukong and see if I can beat the final boss or the super boss. And also sit down and write. That sounds like a wonderful Saturday if I could actually just do all those things. Oh yeah, and then speaking of games and speaking of Kingdom Hearts, Jose and I have been playing Kingdom Hearts. So last night was Halloween Town. The day before, or like the night before, was Atlantica. I'm not even gonna lie, we didn't even finish Atlantica. We got to the second fight with Ursula, which is just so ass and so not fun. We said, fuck this, and just left. We'll probably get to it later. And so last night was all of Halloween Town, and like I love Halloween Town. It is why I have actually watched The Nightmare Before Christmas, one of my favorite movies of all time. So like I didn't bring this up when I was talking about Kingdom Hearts. I meant to and then just forgot. But man, I forgot how shit the Oogie Boogie fights are. The first one is just slow and long because the game hates you. And the second one is just annoying and not very fun because the game hates you. I'm like, man, the Ursula fights, I think, kind of suck. The Oogie fights kind of suck. Oh, dang, Captain Hook is fun. Oh, Captain Hook's a problem. But so, well, I think we're going to try to do Neverland tonight. You know, it's like, what's today? It's Thursday. That's why you're here. So I'm hoping Neverland today, and then hopefully Friday we can do Hollow Bastion. Jose is leaving Saturday because he's doing some stuff out of town. So I don't know what time he's heading out. I think it's gonna be Saturday morning. So I don't think we're gonna be able to finish the game in time before he leaves, but we'll just finish it not long after he gets back. He said he wants to get all the achievements because they're playing it on Steam. I don't want to have to get the ultimate weapon. It's so ass to grind for. But we are going to do the speed running one. We're not doing that now. So I think what we decide is like we're going to play the game on critical, and then we are going to play the game on like easy mode, skip cutscenes, and give... we're gonna dismiss the alarm because I woke up early. The other thing we're going to do, sorry, my brain just forgot how to work. That distracted me. Play on easy, skip cutscenes, and now that we've realized just how much of the game is optional and skippable, yeah, we can just do that. You can just go Traverse Town, Wonderland, Jungle, and then you kind of got to go back. Which, I mean, maybe we'll just hit up Coliseum on the way back. Then you go to Traverse Town, do the shit you got to do there. You don't have to fight opposite armor. And if we're playing on easy, we might not really need arrow. We're probably just going to say pick the sword or the shield and just give up the staff. Magic has been cooking, by the way. And, like, late game magic is dumb. But, oh gosh, not having it. Like, we beat Halloween Town. We just learned guard. That's how rough this run has been defensively. Like, we don't have to fight opposite armor. We can do Monstro, but we can skip the second fight with the Parasite Cage, which does mean stop is fully optional. Atlantica or Halloween Town. We'll probably do Halloween Town so we don't have to deal with Ursula, and then Neverland, Bastion, End of the World. So, yeah, I think that's how we're going to do that. Oh, yeah, the JRPGs, I talked about that. I got a letter from one of my good friends. I think I've brought this up before, that I have a good friend who is currently in prison. I'm not going to go into why, I'm not going to name any names. But I had sent him a letter a while ago, and I hadn't heard back. And I was like, did he get it? Like, I was actually, like, the past week or so just kind of thinking, maybe I need to send him another one, like, just in case, I'm not sure. And then I got the letter, and I was just very happy. So I wrote my response. I haven't sent it yet. That's probably something I'll do. I mean, I wouldn't be able to do it on Sunday. I could maybe do it Saturday morning. Oh, I mean, I guess if I stamp it, I can just put it in the thing. So I'll try to get that out this weekend or early next week. But, like, I spent a lot of time yesterday morning just, like, writing my response. Like, I had a lot of things I wanted to talk about, and I don't know, I really enjoyed that. So earlier this week, this was Tuesday. I think I'm 2 for 2 and having really good workouts on Tuesdays. So I believe I've talked about this before. What I do is I just use the bike. I use the elliptical. That's my thing. Like, I do one thing, but it's my one thing. And the pace I set is 10 calories per minute. So if I work out for an hour, that's 600. If I do like 30 minutes, that's 300, etc., etc. And it's a pace like I feel like that's really good. Maybe it ain't shit, I don't know, but it works for me. So, what I like doing is beating my pace. So, for example, let's say I've burned 100 calories, but I did it in 9 minutes. So I am an entire minute ahead of my pace. And so for me, I'm just like, okay, that means I'm +1, or like now I'm +1.5, because like I'm at 30 seconds. Let's see if we can go for a whole 2 minutes, etc., etc. And I think it was like a couple weeks ago or so, like I did an hour. I got to 600 calories at like exactly 54 minutes. And generally for me, I'm like, look, if I hit my 600, and it's not that I always work out for an hour. Like, again, it kind of depends on the day. It's like, as soon as I hit that, like, to me, I'm good. I did an hour's worth of work. If I can do it quicker than an hour, cool. That means I just get to be done faster. I'm like, I did it. I was +6. It was exactly +6. I've never gotten that high before. I can usually, it's like somewhere around like 4, 4.5, 5, maybe 5.5. I'm like really cooking. I'm like, damn, I actually hit +6. Like, I've hit a new personal best. And then on Tuesday, I did better than my best. There was a point where I was like, I'm actually like really ahead of pace. I think I might hit +7. I could maybe get to +8. And there was a point where I got to +7. I'm like, I have like a good amount of minutes left. I was somewhere in the 50s, like 500 calories, 50 minutes. Like, I can do this. I can do this. And so I did go, it's weird because I'm in my head, I'm like, I kind of went over time, but I also didn't, because it was still within the 60 minutes, but I went over the 600 calories. But I did hit +8, and like I hit that, and then I stopped. I was like, I did my thing. I went a little bit further, and it's just a weird kind of thing to think about. Or it's like, yeah, like a few weeks ago, I hit a new personal best, and then I fucking shattered that. I did better than my best. That feels nice, and I just felt so good after. Like, I felt like I was tired. Like, I was tired, but I was kind of energized at the same time. I was just like smiling. I went and got a shake, which, yeah, that's a great way to celebrate working out. It's like, yeah, let me get those calories back. But it just felt really nice. I think after that, I came home, and then Jose and I played Kingdom Hearts. So yeah, like that was Atlantica. which that was fun. I didn't touch Atlantica. I that's not true. I did a tiny little bit. But like Jose was like, I want to do Atlantica. All right, dude, I'll do Halloween Town. That was that. I do have one other thing I need to talk about. I was kind of saving it for the end because this is like, it's going to be a little more personal at this point. I mean, again, I feel like I say this all the time. Like the whole video is personal. It's just like my diary, and like this is what I did over the course of the week. Then it gets a little more personal, so you don't want to watch fair game. I talked about this. I mean, I guess in general, we say it like this. It was a few weeks ago. It was like the end of... No, when was it? No, it wasn't September. I think it was like the penultimate week of October. Because it was that really good weekend. It's when I went to go see The Room. So I think this was like October 20th, something like that. So it was not just a few weeks. It was about a month ago. I remember talking about how I had like that really good week and I had that really nice paycheck, and then I just kind of had a panic attack because I was like, wait, things are going really well. That doesn't happen. That's not supposed to happen. And I didn't really know how to react to it. It's really fucking sad. And then it was that weekend. It was that Sunday. That was the day where I just got hit really hard by that sense of loneliness. And I remember even at the time, I was like, I'm loved by a lot of different people in my life. I've got my family, I've got my friends, myself kind of to a degree. It's a bit of a rocky relationship, but we're kind of getting it figured out. I'm like, so why do I still feel lonely? Why is the love of all these people who mean the world to me not enough? Like, that feels wrong. It feels kind of fucked up. And something that I realized earlier this week that in my head just kind of makes sense of all of it is that love is a lot like food. And I don't know, maybe that's the Queen Chrysalis in me talking. But love is a lot like food in that there's a lot of different kinds of food groups, the same way there's a lot of different kinds of love. You've got your fruits, you got your veggies, you got your grains, you got your dairy, you got your protein, you even got your sugar. And you do need a little bit of everything. And I think love is very similar. There's familial love. There's the platonic love that you got with your friends. There's divine love, if you believe in that, and I very much do. There's self-love. And then there's also romantic love. And I'm like, So it's not to say that like the love from all these different people isn't enough. Because like if I'm eating steak and potatoes every day, I like steak and potatoes. I could really enjoy that. I think we're actually going to have steak tonight. I'm very excited. But I still need some sugar. I still need like some actual veggies and some fruit. Because something is missing and I'm not quite healthy unless I've got everything. And you don't have to eat everything every meal and every day. But you kind of got to have a steady diet of everything. I was like, that's what the problem is. I can't think of a time in my life where I've had, I guess I'm going to call them love groups, where I've like had everything in like the food pyramid. Because even when I was like with someone before, this was like years ago, and like I loved her a lot, she loved me a lot, like I had that, I was still missing out on other kinds. And for me specifically, it was self-love. It was something I've struggled with a lot in my life. And now I'm at a point where I'm like, okay, family, check. Friends, check. Divine, check. Self, again, it can be a little off and on, but for the most part, right now, it's a check. But I am missing this other one. And I want to say it. Because it's not like, oh man, like there is this, like I am incomplete, I can't function without it, I can't be happy without it, because that's not the case. Because genuinely and generally, yeah, and it can be a little rocky sometimes, it's c'est la vie, that's how life works. But generally, I've actually been pretty happy lately. And it is weird, but it is nice. But I can still acknowledge there's a piece missing. And I'm trying to find that missing piece. So last week, Thursday, because that's almost Friday, which means it isn't yet Friday, was the new episode of Almost Friday TV, which I also realized I haven't talked about Survivor yet. I haven't seen the new episode. So I am hoping later today I will be able to see it and catch up. Anyways, I was just thinking about a show. So, Almost Friday TV, like, I love watching this channel. I know I've talked about it a few times. I've talked about some of the skits, and I know I've talked about the Royce DuPont shorts. The DuPont approach just cracks me up every time. I saw a comment saying, it's like, dude, I need to see Royce DuPont in a movie. Whether he's like a side character like the wolf in Pulp Fiction, or it's just, this is the Royce DuPont movie. I think he would work better in a smaller role. Like he does the shit that Tom Cruise did in Tropic Thunder. It'd be gold. Like, I kind of need that now that it's been brought to my attention. But the new Almost Friday video was about escaping the friend zone. I'm like, I can't wait to see what they do with this idea. I would highly recommend watching it. It's a great video. But it really stuck out to me for a few reasons and just kind of a few ideas. Number one, I want to say it. One of the recurring phrases is there is no love without friendship. With the idea being, if you start a relationship with a person, like if you start a friendship with an ulterior motive, it's not a real friendship and it's not going to lead to real love. And if you do that, you're kind of putting binders and chains on yourself, because you're not trying to be this person's friend and get to know them and have them get to know you and be comfortable. You're doing it for the ulterior motive. And I was reminded of this relationship I had in law school. Like, it was a friendship that I was trying to make into something more. And I genuinely feel like I got there and then just, I didn't finalize it, which is on me. And how it's a relationship I never really felt comfortable in. And not to say like, oh yeah, I was being abused or whatever. Like, that's not the case. It's just, I never really felt like I was being me. And it's not like, oh yeah, I was trying to play a character. I was trying to be like super suave or something, because I am none of those things. But it was like, here's the thought in my, and not just in a way where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not giving into my intrusive thoughts, because again, like that's just kind of being human. It was more of, this is what I'm thinking, and this is what I like genuinely want to say. This is what feels right. But I'm not going to say that because I don't know if I actually like me. So why should she? So let me down, like if, like on a scale of 1 to 10 of meanness, let me take my me to like a 3 or a 4. Rather than the solid 8 or 9 that I'm usually functioning at, And I was like, yeah, it's genuinely wanting to be someone's friend and then feeling comfortable around them. That's very important. There was also another line that was brought up that's been really living in my head rent-free is, your fear of rejection is stronger than your fear of being alone. And that's why you settle, like, for the friend zone. It's not a real thing. It's just like you have this illusion that friendship is the best you can have because that fear is what binds you. Like, I'm paraphrasing a bit. But it's specifically that your fear of rejection is stronger than your fear of being alone. And I'm like, I do have a pretty strong fear of rejection. Rejection sucks. That it's not fun. But I do think my fear of being alone is stronger. Like I said, it's like there's a missing piece. And I would rather be told by people that I'm interested in that I'm not your missing piece. I am never going to be your missing piece. Like, I'm sorry. It's just not going to work out that way. Than to never find it at all. Because, you know, if one door closes, like, all right, I'm never going to be your missing piece. And if we're still cool, we can still be cool. And I'm like, all right. Then let me, try to find something else. Like, for example, like I talked about, like, I was in a relationship a long time ago. She was not my missing piece. She's still one of my best friends. We still talk. We still, like, I went to her wedding. It was great. Technically, it was like the reception thing. They had already gotten married, and this is kind of like the second thing. But anyways, like, I went to it. I celebrated with her. It was fantastic. I've had a friend confess to me before, and I was like, I'm sorry, like, I don't see you that way. Unfortunately, I don't think I really ever will. I am not your missing piece. But I'm very grateful you let me know. I appreciate that, and we're still really good friends. So, Saturday, I went on a hike. And honestly, I could have talked about the hike earlier. I just genuinely forgot to. But so I went on a hike, and the idea was like, all right, I'm going to go and I'm going to, like, meet people, hang out with people, maybe, like, expand my friend group a bit. Not to throw any shade on my friend group. I love them so much. But it's like, yeah, I mean, I can always meet new people. I like people. And it's like, we're going to do that. I'm going to go on a hike and blah, blah, blah. It's going to be super cool. So I show up late, like, as they're already starting to walk, and I, like, catch up to the group. And I just kind of get this feeling that, yeah, I missed introductions, and I'm now, like, literally late to the party. Oh, I don't know what to say. Man, I'm in this thing where it's like, you'll meet people and talk to people, and I said, like, maybe 3 sentences. I didn't talk to anybody. No one talked to me. I'm also going to be honest, like, beforehand I was writing, and so in my head I was just like, I should talk to people, but also, what does this character say to this character? And at a few points I was like, no one's talking to me, and I've got shit, so I just started writing on my phone, and I can't lie, like, I had a good time, though. Like, it was a good walk, and I got to write. It's kind of like a one time in the gym when I was listening to Toho, it was like I can be active and be productive? Hell yeah, I will take that. But there was also this little part of me that's like, I feel bad because I don't feel that bad for not engaging in the activity the way I was supposed to. But anyways, that's not super important. It's a thing that happened in the week. What is important was, as I was driving home, I'm listening to the radio and I'm listening to the 80s channel, and this Billy Joel song comes on called Tell Her About It, which I'd never heard before. And as I'm listening to it, I'm just thinking to myself, there's that friend I really like. And I had kind of made a move, and she didn't respond to it. And she has talked to me since, and that has not been addressed. So I'm like, okay, that's probably was more of a polite no than anything else. Like, that's fine. And because of that, I was like, I don't want to tell her. Because I don't want to overwhelm her. I don't want to be, like, very pushy. I don't want to be an asshole. And as I'm thinking to myself that I'm like, no, I'm not going to do this. I don't think this is the right time. It literally gets to a point in the song where Billy Joel, like, starts screaming, like, tell her. And I'm like, oh, all right, Billy Joel, whatever. And which genuinely I think is just a funny interaction. But it did really get me thinking. I was like, maybe I should. This was in September. Actually, no, that's not true. It was October. It was super early October. It's like the 3rd or the 4th. Was the new episode of Amazing Digital Circus. And I know I brought this up, and it's my favorite episode of the show so far. And there's this one line that Kinger says to Pomni, and I know I'm paraphrasing because I don't think I quite remember it, but it's something along the lines of, there's like nothing more depressing or like nothing more lonely than thinking that no one wants you. And just telling someone like that they're wanted and that they're loved and that they matter can really mean a lot. And as I'm just like sitting there, I'm driving, but like as I'm driving, I'm just kind of thinking about that, like, maybe I should tell her. Just tell her, this is how I feel about you. I really, really like you a lot. I love you. And kind of go into that. And also make it clear that's like, look, I'll be honest about my intentions. I really like being your friend. I think you're a really cool person. And if our friendship never goes beyond friendship, that's fine. It means I have a really cool friend. If it does go beyond friendship, then I'd be really happy with that too. I didn't talk about the missing piece thing because A, I think that would have been a little much, and 2, I hadn't thought of that part yet. That was a very recent, like, couple days ago sort of thing. But, and like, I prayed about it. I was like, is this something I think I should do? And for me, the sense I got was, yeah, you need to do this. You should have done this a while ago, actually. Like, all right, fine. So, I did. I told her. That was Saturday. I haven't heard back yet. And sorry, my brain actually stopped for a second. Like, I was thinking, the wheels were turning, and then for a moment they just went. So, it's been a few days, and like I've said before, she's a bit of a slow responder, and that's fair. Like, we're adults, we're busy people. I'm generally someone that responds very quickly, but that's just kind of that's kind of how my ADD works, is I'm like, oh, thing, let me go ahead and take care of that real quick, and now, like, let me, like, resume or whatever. But, there was a point. Oh, yeah. So, the fact that she hasn't said anything yet, I don't think is necessarily a bad sign. That's pretty normal. But there is that part of my brain that goes, maybe she really didn't like that. It's like, to me, it's like, what would be the worst case scenario? I think the absolute worst case scenario is she looks at that and goes, this dude is a lot, kind of weird, fair, and like, he's kind of just annoying, and I just don't want to deal with this. Just full rejection. Which would suck. It would hurt. I won't lie. But at the very least, at least she knows that there is someone who really cares. What's the best case scenario? The best case scenario would be my feelings are reciprocated, at least like to some degree, and we see how that goes. And maybe, just maybe, I find my missing piece. That's really nice. I'm like, so, what's stronger? My fear of total rejection, or my desire to find that missing piece? And that's the one that won. So, I've been in kind of a limbo. I don't want to say a funk, because I've done stuff since. Like I said, like, I've gotten quite a bit of writing done. I had a really good workout. Been playing Kingdom Hearts with Jose. Made a lot of progress in Wukong. Like I said, I'm almost at the end of the game. But I've been in this weird limbo where I'm like, so at like any given moment, I could get my heart broken. At any given moment, I could get arguably the best news I've gotten all year. Or something in the middle. And it's interesting. Like, it genuinely, I'm like, this is just kind of a fascinating situation to be in. Like, yes, me personally, I want to know what happens. And then there's also the part of me that's just like, I just want to know what happens. Like, this is neat. I had something else I was going to say about it, but I think I forgot it. But anyways, that's been my week. That's where I'm at. I do have a pretty early shift, so I'm glad as much as I'm a tired boy, I'm glad I got up early, so I need to go back, probably start work. So I'll see you later. Have a good day, good weekend, good rest of the month. Yeah, we're almost, oh yeah, I was like I should do a video for Thanksgiving. What day is that? Yeah, it's always on Thursday. That's the point. So I get to make a Thanksgiving video, which will also be, I guess, November in review. I'm wondering about that. Maybe I should do that a little different. So I might just do like a Thanksgiving video, and then November in review / look ahead to December will just be the first Thursday of December. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I know I've already just been kind of taking, I've been taking notes for the next Thursday video. Like, well, yeah, that was for this one. So we'll see. But, see ya.